Women of Reddit, what are some men's problems that you really can't understand? My boyfriend told me about a certain problem with men's penises sometimes touching the front of the toilet seat when they sit. I understand it, but I'm glad I don't have to experience it. Laughing out loud. The witch's kiss. I have actually never heard of anyone else having this problem, and it makes me feel a bit better. Front of the toilet bowl, yes, and also the water in the bowl. Back in college, at the bathrooms in the building for my major, would hold my twig and berries with one hand while sitting to prevent this. It's disgusting, and once it happens, it's not like it's easy to clean afterwards. r/humble brag, Reddit link. TBH, you don't need to have a long penis. Some toilets have the water level super high for who knows what reason. That's what a cup and jock strap are for, but it's generally only used in athletic or other events with a high likelihood of a local impact. Day to day, it's not common enough for the discomfort of it. As someone who is a goalies in field hockey, I'd like to add that jock straps aren't pain prevention but damage prevention. I've had a teammate that is literally one bald now because not wearing one. And on the same note, I've had balls hit my jock with enough force to cause serious pain. Just most of the force is applied to the area surrounding the balls, also they can break because of the impact. I tried squeezing my balls once when I was a teenager, to see what the pain was like. Worst pain I ever felt. And that was me not putting all my strength into it. Just barely squeezing. It takes 20 pounds per square inch to pop a testicle. Stop. Did you mean stomp? What's not mentioned is that often the pain doesn't stay in the nuts but spreads up to torso. I can feel a bad hit up in my kidneys. And then there is the nausea that follows. I advocate for armored underwear. Let me tell you a story. I was about 16, and I did lots of fire twirling. I did poi, which are basically the wick on the end of a wire or chain, about 2.5 feet long, one in each hand. I was mucking about with some friends one night, and I was using a particularly heavy set of poi. They had longer wicks than normal, they were wound thicker, they were on 3 feet long chain. Like actual steel chain. They weighed over 1.2 kilos, about 3 pounds, and they were my favorite set. They made lots of light, lots of sound, felt amazing, and they burned for a long time. And if they got tangled, it was bad. Because they were chain, they would just lock together and you basically had to let them burn out and cool down to get them apart. Wire doesn't tangle so much, it's a better option. So I am going a super simple trick and they tangle. I was going about 1 revolution per second, so they were traveling about 20 kilometers per hour, 12 to 15 miles per hour. Because they were both in front of me traveling downwards as they tangled, momentum did its thing. I moved my arms up and outwards to try to get the poi to stop before they hit me, but I was too slow. Pinned between the 1.2 kilos of poi, going at 20 kilometers per hour, and my stationary pubic bone was my brave, and stoic, right testicle. My legs raised up off the ground, and I assumed the fetal position in midair. The world slowed down dramatically, as I fell to the ground with my eyes closed. I threw up about 5 seconds later. The pain traveled up my back, and down my legs. My friends got some pain relief for me from somewhere, I don't know what or how much. And after 30 minutes I could sit up. I could feel my heartbeat in my injured fella, and it hurt like hell. I end up in front of Dr. Early the next day. My sack is purple, and my right nut is the size of a large chicken egg. Substantially bigger than normal. The doc tells me to go home and rest. And that if it suddenly stops hurting, or suddenly hurts even more, to immediately go to ER as it has probably ruptured. Took about 10 days for the swelling to go down and the pain to subside. It is still far more sensitive than the other one. 4 out of 10. Would not do again. That was a 4 out of 10? I really don't want to hear about your 1/10 injury stories. But also I kind of do, holy crap. To be honest, 3 of those are because I got a good story from it. What everyone gets wrong in movies that the pain isn't instant. You get hit, feel a jolt, squeeze your eyes because you know it's coming, and after 10 seconds is when the pain rush comes through. The pain is instant for me. I also think I have super sensitivity, due to an event that happened years ago, because I can't even stand a light squeeze or bump without becoming almost incapacitated. I also have to be careful when I sit, because if the seam from the boxers/briefs crosses the eggs the wrong way, I'll be in pain for a while. Where do your balls go when you sit down? This is why we usually sit with at least some spread. That being said, they're a bit more flexible and mobile than some people might think. They will find a place, or they will let you know that they're not comfortable. Edit. Wow guys, thanks for all of this. I think the most I had before was a bit over 100 upvotes. This has really exploded beyond what I could have imagined. Also, thanks for the award, whoever gave it to me. It also depends on their temperature. If they are cold, they will suck up nice and compact against the body. If they are warmer, they become more dangly and tend to slide between the legs. Or between your ankles if you're over the age of 70. They just kind of lie there. That's why most men don't like to sit cross-legged, since you actually can squeeze your balls by accident. I always sit cross-legged with my ankle on my kneecap. That works. Look at this yoga master with the flexibility to leave his leg on his knee. As a man, I have no clue. They hang in front of your legs, so as long as you're not waddling around while sitting, they should be on top of your legs. I've sat on them a few times, which is extremely painful, almost always on a motorcycle. If there is anything that we men want to make clear whenever this question is asked, we don't think about this even a little bit. The balls are just there. They are cradled in the pants, maybe sitting on the thighs. I have never sat on my balls before. Not even one time. Sometimes bending down or standing in a way for too long, balls will get moved in a weird way that creates this immediate pain or a very uncomfortable feeling. Then we need to use our hands to adjust. Or take a long stride or something to reset the balls. Evolution would have failed us if this wasn't the case. I can't imagine how annoyed I would be in day-to-day life if our balls were more of a nuisance than they are right now. Blue balls? Like, do you get horny and it gets painful? A tummy ache. I revoke your right to read, write and think. You were just waiting to bust this one out, weren't you? They are a thing and I experienced it. It's not just get horny and it hurts though. You have to be erected as if you are having / about to have sex for quite a bit, not just horny. Happened to me once on a party with friends as a teenager. A girl wanted to take some of my innocence and I was all for it. We texted before, so I was hyped, but we weren't able to snuck away for some privacy. Therefore I just got to secretly touch and finger her a bit and make out, which was still great as it was my first time, but I basically got teased for hours. My balls hurt as hell when I came home. It is not that big of a deal though. Once you rub one out, it fades fairly quickly, so if someone ever tries to make you feel bad because you gave him blue balls, just tell him to masturbate. You got to have sex with me, you gave me blue balls. Go F yourself. I almost wish I was a woman just so I could do this, haha. It's not horny equals pain, but it is real. It's caused by a hypertension in our groin that occurs after prolonged intense arousal. And despite the moderate pain it causes, it is no excuse for any untoward behavior. So, basically it's your dick/balls getting tired from being hard for too long? Like when you carry something heavy for a while and your muscles ache, but it's your groin? Pretty good way to describe it. It's like a dull ache for a dull horny ache. It can happen. That said, don't ever let a guy pressure you into sex using the excuse you gave him blue balls. The pain isn't bad, and it goes away fairly quickly. If it bothers him that much and you're not ready to do something, he can go jerk off and take care of the problem. My husband complains the toilet downstairs is too small, so his dick grazes the inside bowl. Tiny toilets suck. That crap is nasty. Also, why the completely round bowls suck, the elongated ones are so much better for that reason. Do guys just get random boners? Yes, sadly it can be awkward. Just flex some muscles on your body, legs for example, for 30 seconds and that awkward boner is gone. That just draws attention. Now I am imagining a guy with a boner flexing like Johnny Bravo. Maybe that's why he was always flexing like that. How can you get attention from flexing your leg muscles? Only if it's your third leg, but that's the problem we're trying to solve. My eyes are up here, honey. As I've got older, I've started getting them when I'm sleepy, which tracks with a comment above. It got really awkward when I used to work nights. The no reason boner is an extremely common occurrence. So much so that Ninja Sex Party wrote a song about it by that very name. Some men I know are overly confident and very insecure at the same time. Is this the societal norm? Yep, you want to seem confident but it just leaves you insecure. Thanks. Can you explain how? It's a complicated matter. It starts somewhere between men are not allowed to express their feelings and show no weakness. Boys don't cry, and probably ends with us never get compliments. Some of us just get only one compliment a month, and this one compliment is what keeps us going for months, if not years. Once a month sounds like a lot to me. I'm happy with getting one once a year. I know this feeling, but since I grew a beard, people are complimenting me more often. But it's like 90% men who give out the compliments, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. I grew out an awesome Hulk Hogan mustache right before COVID started. I kept it for a while, but eventually it became impossible to social distance with all the women swarming me. Even with a mask on, they'd sense the stash and follow me around like a pack of zombies. Dudes gave a lot of compliments too. One a month? Lucky F's. For a proper genuine compliment, it's been 2 years so far, and I was in a relationship with said person most of this time since. Pretty much every woman ever lists confidence as one of the things they're most attracted to. Men want to be attractive to women, so they fake it if they don't have it. Since women usually reward this behavior, it persists. I think most men understand that being confident is nowhere near as important as appearing confident, because most women can't tell the difference, and being confident alone gets you nowhere unless you flaunt it. This stems from the endless chant of just be confident. Just be confident. Just be confident. Confidence is attractive. But the truth is, many men are faking their confidence and are insecure. Where does your dick go when y'all use the toilet? Like, does it just hang there? What if you have to poo with a boner? What if you have to poo with a boner? You don't. You wait until it goes away. Pain. You're telling me you don't hunch over awkwardly, bending your dick as far down as possible while spraying piss in every direction like a busted fire hydrant? I always hold it with one hand so it doesn't touch the bowl, which is gross. The second situation is very rare, but I'd usually just wait until it goes away before sitting down. I've always been so curious about how men's public bathrooms evolved to be such an exposed experience compared to women's. Like, we use a stall no matter what. When men have to pee, they just have a thin sheet of fiberglass or whatever separating one of, what I'd imagine, is one of their most private physical parts from complete strangers. How many men just opt to use a stall at all times? Edit. I feel like there is a difference between the guys who have responded to this comment saying, I do X, I do Y, and the guys who have responded by referring to their member as an inanimate object that they do X or Y within a restroom. Can't put my finger on what the difference means, yet, necessarily. Just, yeah. It's there. You've never seen the troughs at a stadium, have you? Whoever came up with the idea of pee troughs must be pretty special person. A lot. Also, most men leave one urinal in between us when we pee when possible. Meaning if there are 5 urinals in a row, most men only see 3 viable ones. If they're full, then immediately opt for a stall. If you need to take up one of the other 2 urinals, then keep your eyes dead ahead. Okay, I knew there must be tacit urinal rules that I was never told about. Makes total sense. I actually think it's kind of the same way with women in very crowded bars/clubs. If the bathroom line is super long, you can use the stall with your friend at the same time, just don't look at her while she pees. It's codified in the bro code that you can't stare at another bro's junk at the urinals. There's apparently a bro code pass that lets you peek at a celebrity's dick, just once. I'm holding on to mine though. The pass, not my dick. Why not both? As a woman, I know of this rule but I have never understood it. What is the advantage? If we're in the queue together, and my friend goes first, I will either get to go immediately after her, or sooner if another cubicle is free. I don't know how I gain any time by cramming myself into a, usually too small, cubicle with my friend? Is it just to keep a conversation going, or is there some other advantage me and my female friends have always missed? I've done it a fair amount and I do think it keeps the stall occupancy flow going quicker, if you do it right. Like in the time it takes my friend to get her outfit pulled back up and rearranged enough to exit the stall, I've usually already peed and am halfway to getting publicly presentable myself. If you don't go together, you have one drunk lady who has to disrobe, pee, remember where the TP dispenser is, then stitch herself up on her own and make an exit. Know the rule is you always study the wall 2 feet above your head as though it holds the keys to eternal life. When I was a kid, we didn't have the dividers. It was a big metal trough that everybody lined up at and peed into openly. It's quicker that way, and it enables you to touch nothing but yourself. Plus an unspoken rule of always keeping at least one urinal's worth of distance is well established, so it's actually only when there's a queue we stand close. Plus, from a young age most boys learn to pee in public, i.e. the nature, and sometimes even socially so. When I was 12, my mates and I would sometimes crisscross streams when peeing in the woods and find it hilarious. So I guess for men, it's not even that private. Sometimes there's a piss trough with no individual urinals. Sometimes it's double-sided with a chest-high divider in the middle. Picture livestock feeding time but with dudes pissing. Nothing quite like locking eyes with a stranger while trying to take a piss. Music festivals have these urinal cubes that have 4 urinals each. They can be quite hilarious since they're only like 140 centimeters high, so if all stations are full, you're going to have a nice staring contest too with the guy opposite of you. Most of the time, there is no divider between urinals. You just have to stand there as far apart as you can and pretend that you're not staring at some guy's cock on accident. Hey, fair enough. What's interesting is that so far I've gotten responses anywhere from I don't care at all, I'm a man, I take my dick out at the urinal, even if I'm 6 inches from a stranger, and anyone who looks at it is gay, to I exclusively use the stall because it's just too much. Sometimes it's not even multiple urinals. There is such a thing as the trough. It's just one long, usually metal, basin that lines a wall. Hell, sometimes it's not even a trough. Sometimes it's a wall with plumbing that constantly trickles water down. You just line up and piss on a wall with a bit of a basin dipping into the floor to catch and drain away the pee. And I've never seen it in the wild, but there's also like a raised disc basin where I guess you gather around and piss into it? It's a lot. I think these more public ones are dying out. Web link. That disc thing is called a wash fountain, which is just a big ass sink. You're not supposed to piss in it. Ah. Well. Maybe a good thing I never found one. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.